What are JavaScript array iteration method return values? Have you ever wondered how JavaScript handles arrays and what happens when you use different iteration methods? Understanding the return values of these methods can really help you in your web development journey. Let's break it down in a straightforward way. First, we have the forEach method. This method executes a callback function for each element in the array. However, it does not return anything. The return value is undefined. It is great for performing actions like logging or updating variables without creating a new array. Next up is the map method. This one is quite handy because it returns a new array. The new array contains the results of applying the callback function to each element in the original array. The original array remains unchanged. Use this method when you want to transform each element and get a new array of those transformed values. Then we have the filter method. This method also returns a new array, but it only includes elements that pass a test defined in the callback function. If the callback returns true, that element is included in the new array. This is perfect when you want to select a specific subset of elements based on certain criteria. Now, let's talk about the reduce method. This method is a bit different as it returns a single value. It applies a reducer function to each element of the array from left to right, reducing the array to one accumulated value. This is useful when you want to compute something like a sum or a concatenated string from the array. There is also the reduce right method, which works similarly to reduce but processes the elements from right to left. Use this when the order of processing matters. Moving on, we have the every method. This method returns a Boolean value, either true or false. It checks if the callback function returns a truthy value for every element in the array. If all elements meet the condition, it returns true. On the other hand, the sum method also returns a Boolean value but checks if at least one element meets the condition. If any element passes the test, it returns true. Next, we have the keys method. This method returns an iterator object that contains the keys or indexes for each element in the array. It is useful when you need to iterate over the indexes of an array. The values method is similar but returns an iterator object that contains the values of each element. This is the default iterator for arrays and can be used with for of loops, making it easy to iterate over values without worrying about indexes. Lastly, the entries method returns an iterator object that contains key-value pairs for each index and element in the array. This is handy when you want to work with both indexes and values at the same time. Understanding these return values is key to mastering array manipulation in JavaScript. Each method serves a specific purpose, whether it is transforming data, filtering elements, or simply iterating over arrays. By knowing what each method returns, you can choose the right one for your tasks in web development.